Hello and welcome to AutoTrader Carology Bitesize, our video series where we chat with industry experts to share the latest news and trends in Canadian automotive to ensure you are in the know. I'm your host, Sabrina Bond from AutoTrader, and today I'm joined by Baris Akyurek, our VP of Insights and Intelligence. Baris will be giving us the first update for vehicle pricing for 2024, unpacking the latest trends for inventory levels, and what factors are influencing these changes. Thanks so much for joining me today, Baris.
Thanks for the invite, Sabrina. Always good to be here.
Can you start off by giving us an overview of vehicle pricing and inventory levels so far this year?
Yeah, of course. So looking at prices from March of 2024, both new and used prices have been coming down on a month-over-month basis, but the overall trends are slightly different. So looking at new car prices, average price of a new car in Canada now is around $66,000, just over $66,000, which is a 7.4% year-over-year increase. On the other hand, used car prices peaked in around June of 2023, and I think we've talked about this in the last one as well. Mm-hmm. And now they've been coming down. And now looking at again, March prices, the average price of a used car in Canada is $37,662. But this time, on a year-over-year basis, they're 4% below last year's levels. So the story is different between new and used when we look at the market. New demand has been pretty strong. As we all know, the inventory levels have been coming back for over a year now. Looking at AutoTrader.ca, our inventory levels are 50% above last year's levels. And I think we talked about this in the last one as well, but domestic brands and European brands, they're really close to 2019 levels. And Asian brands were struggling a little bit. So now the trends have shifted in 2024. So what we are seeing is that European brands, the inventory has flatlined. Asian brands have been going up, and domestic brands, now we are seeing a little bit of a decline in overall inventory. So it's a bit complicated, but things are going well. Inventory is coming back, prices are coming down, and the availability is there. So cars are selling. So no issues on the new side. On the used side, the story is a bit different, just like the prices. So again, I believe we talked about this in our last conversation as well. But what we are seeing in the market is that there's a slight decline in demand, Sabrina. So it's not by much, couple of percentage points, but there's a little bit of a decline. And on the other hand, as we just talked about, because new cars are getting sold in around 50% of the time when a new car is sold, there's a used car trade-in attached to it. So used inventory is also building up compared to the last couple of years. So demand is slightly down, inventory is up. What happens to prices? Prices started to go down. So that's what we're seeing.
Great. What are some of the factors that are influencing prices right now?
Yeah, so we talked about the demand, right? Mm-hmm. The situation is a bit different between new and used, but demand is obviously a big factor. Availability, mm-hmm. right? When there's not just for cars, but for anything, if there's something, if it is more available, obviously it impacts prices. What we are seeing is, so obviously with car prices where they are, interest rates are also high. So what we also look at monthly average payments, so what consumers are paying. So that's kind of flatlined in the last couple of months. It doesn't increase anymore. So what we are expecting to see is that once the interest rate cuts are implemented, hopefully in around June, that's the market consensus right now, we expect to see further declines in prices, and hopefully we'll see an increase in the spike in demand as well accordingly.
Looking at electric vehicles in particular, can you give us a glimpse into pricing and even consumer interest?
Yeah, electrification. It's a hot topic. So as you know, we have our annual EV survey.
Mm-hmm.
So we are just about to finalize it, and by the time that this video is published, probably it will be out and about.
Yes.
But just to it's very exciting. Obviously I've had a quick look at the results, and there's so many interesting insights in there. And one of them is obviously we want to know consumers' intention to buy an EV. And as a reminder, it declined last year, and what's going to happen this year. I don't want to give away too much.
Okay.
But on the other hand, going back to your question, looking at new EVs, there are lots of EVs available now, more models, and inventory is going up, and demand is. We'll find out what's happening with demand, and prices have been coming down. So I can tell you as this much for now, but I'm sure we'll chat about it at some point and talk about this in more detail in the next couple of months.
Sounds good for sure. We'll want to have you on soon again to give us some more pricing trend updates. So thank you so much for joining me today, Baris.
Yeah, thanks for having me again. I appreciate it.
Thank you for tuning in to today's episode. If you are interested in seeing our latest AutoTrader Price Index or gaining more insights about automotive trends or consumer research results, be sure to follow AutoTrader.ca on LinkedIn, or you can visit our newsroom on go.trader.ca. Thanks again, and we hope to have you join us for our next AutoTrader Carology Bitesize.